Howdy folks, you're watching Deuce, and right now there is the best tactical and utility glove deal on the market right now, bar none. And that deal is on the Mechanics Glove website. About once a year or so, around now, they have the greatest deals on some of their gloves. And I highly recommend taking a look at their website if you are in need of a utility glove, a tactical glove, a shooting glove, or just something to keep your mitts warm. As is normal, I don't get any kind of kickback, any kind of money from Mechanics or anything of that nature. This is just me finding a great deal and advertising that to you guys. I'm not even going to give you a link down below or a code or anything of that nature. Just open up another web tab and type in mechanics.com, and that's mechanics with an X because that's, they got to be flashy. Open that up and there's a whole bunch. I've got to open up right here. 30% off. Well, I'll put that's stupid of me. I'll put an actual picture up here. So 30% off tactical and military stuff. Okay, that's cool. The winter insulated gloves. I have some of those. I couldn't find them. And here's some of the gloves that I've got from Mechanics. Some of them are in better shape than others. But I have some insulated gloves. I think they're in the truck. Let me show you those real quick. I'll go up after I've done recording this and I'll show you where I keep those gloves. Around this time of year, I stick them in the truck and leave them there because I never know if I'm going to have a cold day on the farm or a warm day on the farm. So it is imperative that I stay prepared for any kind of circumstance, including cold weather. Got to keep those hands warm. Now for all day work, I'll usually go with the normal Mechanics glove with the Velcro back right there. And that holds onto your arm, onto your hand very, very well, never slips off. And they are reasonably good as far as grip and reasonably good as far as tear and wear resistance. I've got some Coyote Browns too somewhere, I think in my shooting bag, because I normally use those to shoot just because they look better. Bear in mind, the normal Mechanics glove, unless they advertise otherwise, are not heat resistant at all. Here's an example of that right there. You see that circle? That circular burn mark happens to be about the same diameter as a 9mm suppressor. A very, very hot 9mm suppressor. Now, what I recommend for suppressor use, as far as not burning your hands and taking them on and off while they're still hot, is a cheap barbecue or oven mitt. I put one of these in my range bag when I'm going to be using a suppressor because those things get super hot. Now, Mechanics make some heat-resistant gloves, but they are fairly expensive, and for my personal use, very limited use. So that's why I go with the cheap glove that's meant for barbecuing. It works for me. I've also been using a set of these impact gloves there. Now, it has these rubber things on the front. I am not a huge fan of that. It just kind of just adds bulk, and I really don't think it adds too much protection, maybe a little bit, but I did buy these because it has the extra padding and cushion on the palm of your hand. Because that's where I'm going to get hurt usually, is me doing something stupid that I should have worked smarter and not harder. And this prevents me from hurting myself when I'm trying to work harder versus smarter. And like me, I bet many of you are guilty of working harder versus smarter just by not taking the time to sit down and figure it out. When Mechanics had their last sale, I bought a bunch of these fast fit gloves here, and I was afraid that, number one, they wouldn't stay on very well. They totally do. I was afraid that the elastic would wear out, but it has not in a year, and I will probably wear out the palm before I will wear out the elastic. The only issue I have with the fast fit gloves is it has kind of an open gauntlet up here above the elastic band. And that will unfortunately fill with dirt and debris if you are working with dirt and debris. So that's where, if I'm working with something like that, I will use the Velcroed version, the original or the impact, and that really tightens down around your wrist and does not let any kind of junk get in there and irritate your sensitive fingers. One of those links on our page is called the Doorbusters page. That's where I would recommend you to look first. If you can use one of those gloves, they are super cheap. They've got one deal there that is 2 sets of gloves for $7 shipped. Now, are Mechanics gloves the best glove out there for tactical situations, for shooting, or for utilitarian use? No. Just like any glove out there, Mechanics gloves are not a cry once, buy once type scenario. They are a consumable product. You buy these, you wear them out, and you toss them, you buy new gloves. Now, some gloves will last a lot longer than these. If you are looking for something more sturdy than a Mechanics glove, I can highly recommend, from personal experience, the Camelback Max Grip glove, but only the USA-made version meant for the military. You can sometimes find them on the surplus market. You're going to pay quite a bit more money for a glove that lasts maybe 2 or 3 times as long. When I first bought my house here, the first thing I did was tear out all the old mulch and then replace it with river rock, which I recommend never have a bunch of mulch up against your house. That's bad juju right there. But I went through 2 sets of these mechanics gloves while putting that rock in because they are a consumable product. Those rocks are heavy, they're abrasive, and eventually I just wore through the palms on all 4 of those gloves. But then I tossed them and I waited for another deal and I stocked up again, which is what I recommend to you guys if you are in the need of gloves. If you have a lifestyle that you might need a set of gloves or 2 on occasion, buy 3, 4 pair of gloves from mechanics during this sale and you're good for a couple of years. That's what I do. Well guys, that's it for me today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a like and go subscribe. A lot more is on the way. If you have any comments, questions, show ideas, leave that in the comment box of the video. I try to get as many of those as possible. As always, you guys have a great day. See ya.